Hello, so I am Elva Salinas and I am here to talk about the teacher look experiment that we were assigned for our class by Dr. Johnson. So basically what I have learned over the years and what I've learned in class, specifically this past week for this module, there is a specific teacher look. I honestly have practiced in front of a mirror, and practice a certain way of talking. I use my hands a lot, so sometimes it's hard to not do that. So I find myself practicing not using my hands. Also, I tend to use a lot of so I'll be like, like I just did right now. Subconsciously, I just did that not thinking. But I use that a lot, so that's something that I'm also working on. And like I said, I practice in the mirror. I try to do my teacher voice, and trying to sound like I'm correcting students, but I don't want to come off as being mean. I don't want to have to raise my voice. So definitely it's a work in progress. The three people that I practiced my teacher look with was my husband, which was kind of interesting because, he was born and raised in Honduras. So his teacher look of what he, remembers growing up is a lot different than what we are used to here. So he just told me, that he sounded like I sounded so professional, in comparison to how we talk day to day. I also practiced on my daughter. She's 11. She's in the 6th grade. And she always makes comments to me here and there, depending on who I'm talking to, about how my voice tends to change a little bit. And I always explain to her, of course, you're not going to talk to everyone the way you casually talk to every day. So, she complimented me saying that I did already sound like some of her teachers in school. She actually advised me to try to sound more chill so that the students feel more comfortable, gaining that trust and they feel like, they're just, that they can trust me, that they can talk to me instead of, maybe feeling intimidated by having to talk to an actual teacher. So, I really appreciated that. It was nice to take that advice from a child, even though she's my daughter, she's a student herself. And I also practiced this with my coworkers in our RTI classroom. Even today I had my observation with Dr. Johnson. And we were just talking about how, presenting yourself in front of your students and how you communicate with them, how you correct them, really does affect how a student feels in the classroom in general and how they will respond. So the article that I read, that I connected to my experiment from Dr. Fred Jones, it was called Meaning Business. It was the part 1 article, Calm is Strength and Upset is Weakness. There were some points that I even wrote down that really honestly surprised me. So overall, it said that the most stressful behavior for a teacher is not actually, the 1 or 2 students that act out here and there. It's honestly the little disruptions that happen. It said 80% of your day, sometimes your time is being wasted on correcting all those little disruptions that really, can be addressed all at once at the beginning, or can simply, be ignored or be, addressed in a different way rather than disrupting the classroom and disrupting, the lesson that we're trying to teach. Being on your toes all day will leave you exhausted. After a long day, it's very easy to say, what a day. It's been very stressful. And I also learned in this article that it takes 27 minutes after, you feel all the adrenaline of being at work, being, working with students, for that to calm down. And honestly, it said on there, despite what pay, grade level you're on, it's not worth it, to be on your toes, like I said, and to feel the stress from work every single day when there's ways that can be managed. Also, in order to understand stress, we have to understand the fight-flight reflex, which honestly, I didn't know. It's honestly something very physical. It has to do with the muscle tension, that builds up in your body from the stress, from the, little disruptions, having to address them. It all ties together into the actual stress of working. So finding ways to manage that, really is the key to being able to really succeed and have an effective teacher look. It's not necessarily just about how we dress, or if we smile or not. It has a lot to do with how we manage ourselves in order to be able to manage our students. So meaning business overall means working smart instead of working hard. Students can, and I can see this all day, students can read into our body language and our attitude and how we are. They can immediately pick up on it, and they can even feed off of it. So, if we're ourselves are not being able to control our behavior, we can expect to, be able to control our students' behavior. And that's another thing that I really was surprised by. The main phrase that I was like, wow, and I even wrote it down and put stars by it. You never will be able to manage another person's behavior until you can manage your own, which is true in every aspect of our area, but especially, working with students, you have to be able to control yourself in order to expect other students to be able to control themselves as well. So, little tips they gave to relax, to breathe slowly, practice relaxing. It's a lot more complex than what we think, and to just give yourself a moment to think. And yeah, so that's honestly what all I found in this experiment. Thank you.